Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your bro, hope you're doing well, and in this video I'm going to discuss multi-dimensional arrays in JavaScript, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. What am I talking about again today? Oh yeah, multi-dimensional arrays. A multi-dimensional array holds a matrix of elements. It's an array of arrays. Here's an example. We'll create a multi-dimensional array named garage, and we will store a bunch of cars within our garage. However, our garage is going to be arranged like a grid in rows and columns. Here's an example. So our garage is going to be a multi-dimensional array of separate arrays. So one array for each row within our grid, our matrix. And let me just organize this a little bit. Okay, so we have a set of outer square brackets, and we'll need a set of inner square brackets for each row within our matrix. So let's create our first row. Perhaps this is all cars by Ford. So we have a Mustang. That may be a Ford F-150. You can use whatever cars that you want for this example. Then perhaps an Explorer. Okay, this is my first array within my multi-dimensional array. Let's create another row. I'll add another set of square brackets. Perhaps this will be all cars by Chevrolet. So we have a Corvette, maybe a Silverado, and what about an Equinox? Okay, so we have two arrays within our multi-dimensional array. I'll add one more for good measure, and be sure that you're separating each array with a comma. Okay, so we have cars by Toyota. So maybe a Camry, then a Highlander, and a Tacoma. That should be good for this example. Okay, so here's our multi-dimensional array. It's arranged like a matrix, a grid with rows and columns. So let's attempt to access whatever element is at index 0 within our garage. I'll use console.log, then the name of my array, garage, at index 0. So this is going to return the first element of my array. And this will return an entire array because this is a multi-dimensional array. It's an array of arrays. Now, to access one of these elements within my array, which is an element itself, I need to use two indexes. Indices, however you pronounce them. So if I need this first element of my first array, this would be 0, 0 then. It's kind of like Battleship or a grid or something. These are the coordinates starting in the top left corner. So garage at index 0 would be my Mustang. Then 0, 1 would be my Ford F-150. 0, 2 is my Explorer. Then if I go all the way to 0, 3, well then it's going to be undefined because we ran out of elements for this first array. So if I were to move down a row, that would be garage at index 1, index 0, and this would be my Corvette. 1, 1 is my Silverado, 1, 2 is my Equinox, then let's go down another row to garage, 2, 0, this is my Camry, then my Highlander, then my Tacoma. Okay, so that is how to access an element from a multi-dimensional array. You have to use two indexes, and I like to think of it like a grid or matrix. Now, an easy way to display all the elements of a multi-dimensional array is to use nested for loops. So let's create an outer for loop for let index I equal 0. Then our duration is going to be I is less than garage dot length, because length is a property of arrays that increment I by 1 after each iteration. For the time being, let's use console.log garage at index of I, because I is our counter, our index. So this is going to display all of the elements within my array of garage. But if I need each separate element within my multi-dimensional array, I'm going to use a nested for loop. So let me get rid of this line here, and we'll create a nested for loop. So let j will be our index equal 0. J is less than garage dot length, but this is going to be garage at index of I to match our index for our outer for loop. Then we will increment j by 1 after each iteration. And now we will display console.log garage at indexes of I and j. So this will iterate through all of the elements within my multi-dimensional array. So we have everything beginning with my Mustang all the way to my Tacoma. Here's another way to visualize this. So along with displaying the element from my garage using console.log, I will also display the indexes of I and j along with this element. So within my console.log statement, I will also display I, j, then garage at indexes of I and j. So along with each element, this will also display the coordinates, the row and column that each element is found within my multi-dimensional array of garage. So the top left corner would be 0, 0, row 0, column 0. My Ford F-150 is row 0, column 1. Then you just follow that pattern. So that's another way of looking at it too. Well then everybody, that is a multi-dimensional array. It holds a matrix of elements. It's an array of arrays. If you would like a copy of this code, I will post this to the comments section down below. But yeah, those are multi-dimensional arrays in JavaScript.